Good morning, everyone. I am Liz Fuller with the Southport Historical Society, and I am here speaking with Chris Wallace, one of the artists who is participating in the Southport Open Your Doors contest sponsored by Up Your Arts and Southport Historical Society. So, Chris, good morning.
Morning to you.
First, I want to ask you now, are you a professional artist?
I am. I have two art degrees. Only early in my career did I actually use art to make a living. After that, I became an art educator.
Oh,
Uh,
okay.
my first 3 years out of undergrad school, I was a commercial artist, worked for an ad agency, and kind of ran my own sign painting business. And then I decided I would try teaching in 1980, and I got up every morning for the next 40 years and taught.
Okay, I guess you did try it.
Oh yeah,
It's,
it was clear to me that that's what I needed to do. That
yeah,
it was fun and I could still make my own art. And I think what helped me most was getting away from somebody else's idea of doing advertising and a lot of commercial art. And the pay was a little unstable at the time in late 1970s. And I decided I'd try teaching, and I went into teaching art and art history.
nice. And now you're retired?
I retired last July, so it's been almost a year.
Okay, and you're here in Southport.
I live in Oak Island, and on
Oh,
the west side of Oak Island. Yeah.
uh-huh. Okay, great. And so now do you get to do a lot of art, of your own art?
Thank God, yes.
Okay, great. So what motivated you to apply for the Southport Open Your Doors project?
Well, since my wife and I moved here, I've been trying to get involved. I was in a little show over in Leland in April,
Mhm.
and to raise some money for their artist league, which I haven't joined anybody yet, but I'm looking around and just want to get my name out there and get involved with the arts. So I saw the article in the newspaper, the Stateport newspaper,
Mhm.
and I said, well, I think I'll give myself a chance and see if I can come up with something that communicates how I saw the pandemic and how things happened and how things are still happening. And to be honest with you, at first I wasn't really excited about it. It felt like I was doing an illustration as I worked on a couple of sketches, but then the sketch that I submitted, I felt pretty good about, and I felt like it gave me a chance to get one of the doors. Um, and so I went into it feeling that here's an opportunity to put images with this pandemic. And so the article in the paper motivated me. And then when I saw the doors, I guess I worked on some sketches and ideas before I actually saw the doors online. And finally, I went to Up Your Arts and saw each of the doors, and that really motivated me to think about how these doors have gone through so much, and they endured so much, and they're still here, and they're gonna I think they're gonna be upgraded from this removed door status to art status. And that really motivated me to take something like that and make it into art. And I have to tell you too, if you've seen some of my art, I know you probably haven't, but I'm really I get really excited about found objects and what kind of meaning they can carry. I've used lots of found objects in my work over the years, and I'm trained to be a painter in my graduate degree, and since then I've become more of a mixed media artist, using lots of found objects. I'm planning on using some barbed wire in this door to represent pain, and uh, maybe some other things that represent the coming out of the pandemic. But I like the symbolism of that, I found that after I worked hard in grad school to be what I thought was a pretty good painter. Uh, I found it more fun and challenging to do these 2D, 3D things require mixed media. So that's I know I answered more than your question, but the doors. Once I saw the doors, I really got pretty excited about doing something with one.
That's a great answer. And there's a lot there. I really appreciate. One of the things is because, like you said, these doors themselves are a symbol of they're historic doors, and they're a symbol of endurance and surviving and thriving and still having purpose and beauty. And so that in and of itself. And then adding this on. So you must have moved to Oak Island about the time of the pandemic. Then you said you retired a year ago.
I did. Last year was my final year of teaching,
Mhm.
and my wife and I have been shopping for a house. She wanted to retire in Oak Island, so we'd been looking here casually for a year or so, and then last June, actually it was June 18th. I remember it because it's my wife's birthday. June 18th, we made a bid on a house here in
Uh-huh.
Oak Island, and that bid didn't quite go through. We had it inspected, and the inspection was not good. So uh, we kept looking. We leased a house from a person that we knew, and started shopping so that we could, if we saw a house that we liked, we'd take off and go see it right away instead of driving for a few hours to come see it. And so, uh, yeah, we moved to Oak Island in November. So
Okay.
we've been living in this house since November, and it's and my wife likes it, but I love it because it has a great workspace. There's a covered workspace outside that's open and open on the side, open on no walls. It's got a metal roof, plenty of space to work. And there's also an indoor workspace where actually the picture of the door that I showed you a minute ago is in that workspace now. So I have two workspaces. Uh,
Wow.
so I my wife laughs every time I say jackpot. I think it's a jackpot for me. Uh,
You should name the house Jackpot. That's wonderful. Sounds like you found the perfect retirement place for you. So let's take a look at those the pictures
okay.
of the door.
All right, let me hit share screen.
There-
Okay,
Wow. Okay, this is exciting. So on the left is the sketch, right?
correct.
That you submitted to the Open Your Doors project, and it was a juried selection. So it went through and was picked by the judge. And then on the right is your progress on the door, right?
That's true.
All right, this is exciting. So the door is pretty close. The one on the right is pretty close to the one you envisioned when you did your drawing, right?
So far, it is, and I've only done the one panel at the bottom.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, the door that I was given was door number 13, which is the skinniest door
Oh.
of the bunch. But I requested three. I had three requests, three of the doors. All of them had 5 horizontal panels,
Uh-huh.
all three of them. So this is the one that they offered me, and I was glad to get it. What I'm going to do is add. I'm going to add two sides to it, and actually, I've already planned on doing something on top to extend some of this growth that looks like little cacti there in green and black. They're gonna grow out the top in pieces of wood, and
Mm,
I cut this bottom panel out, so that one, the bottom panel is sunken in where the closed sign is, and I'm going to put some barbed wire over that, like I was saying, to represent and symbolize pain and suffering. And then I've used locks and doorknobs before in my work to represent and symbolize closing and opening. And that
mhm,
was another thing about the doors themselves. And not to mention how much they've endured and how they've come through a lot of changes over the years. But a door also represents, it can be closed or it can be open, and
mhm,
so that really uh, gave me some ideas too. So I'm going to have some latches, as you can see on my sketch. I'm going to have some actual latches that are going to be attached to boards that are on the outside. I've already bought some popular boards for the outside, and they're going to be latches there. And I'm in the process of looking for some old doorknobs and gathering some from people I know, and looking around Oak Island, see if any are laying on the side of the road. And uh, because I like the idea of using some of these old doorknobs and latches that are used, and
Mhm.
um, and carry some meaning, and carry some history with them. But the um, my concept here is to read the door from the bottom up. So the bottom represents, everything being closed, and in the height of the pandemic. And and then the next panel has people with the with masks on and face shields. And then I have some. I'm planning on having some sections to be open, completely open, or maybe with a black background to represent those who died. And
Mm.
so it gets a little happier as we go up with the
Mm.
healing and recovery panel. That's what I'm calling the middle one. That's one that I'm probably going to change somewhat, but I do want to feature the vaccine, and how that was a real game changer in December and January, when the vaccine came about. And I got a vaccine early in January, my first shot from Moderna, and then got the second one in February. So I feel very fortunate. And I was just in a meeting last night down here in Oak Island, and some of the people there who are about my age or maybe younger have not had the shot yet, and I just couldn't get over. I was like, man, it's out there. All you got to do is go get it. And I had no reactions except a little sore arm, and my wife the same. And so I think that middle panel is such a, to me, means a great big change when the vaccine came out. And then of course it gets happier. And I'm hoping to, my plan is, don't hold me to it, but my plan is those two panels at the top, that they will project. The one at the bottom is recessed, and the one with the mask is going to be probably flat with the door, and then eventually the panel at the top with the word open in it, and some keys, and those are going to be actual keys that I already have. uh, and that will be in a shadow box that protrudes out.
Right.
uh, so it's coming out towards us. And so I feel good about a lot of the subtle details in it. And
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
feel like it might change a little bit, but you're right. So far, with that bottom panel, is pretty darn close to what I already have in my sketch.
Well, and it's very interesting. I assumed when I saw the sketch that everything was painted on. So it's interesting that you're going to be using found objects, that it's going to have multiple dimensions, that you've got the recession down at the bottom, and then the shadow box coming out at the top. And I particularly like the fact that, you know, the optimistic part is at eye level, so that
Yeah,
you're drawn to the optimistic part of the future. And but that we don't forget the struggles that we went through and the people that we lost along the way. So it's very powerful and very moving. So, do you see any challenges ahead, or you think you've?
yeah. I saw your question in the email you sent, and
Uh-huh.
I've been thinking about that often in the last couple of days, about what the challenges are. Uh, the simple challenge is finding every one of the found objects that I want, um,
Mm-hmm.
and the latches and the doorknobs. And I'm trying not to go buy new ones. And if I do buy anything new, I'm probably going to beat it up and make it look weathered, and so it looks like it's been through something. Um, and that's the first challenge. The second challenge that I've been thinking about um, recently is whether or not to use models for these people.
Oh.
Uh, the guy in the second panel that's got the darker skin right in the middle, I know a guy in Oak Island that looks like that, and I hadn't seen him lately, but I'm going to find him and ask him if he wants to model for me, and I'll take a picture of him. And
Mm-hmm.
I've done a few paintings where I've used local people as models in them. The I did not use models for the sketch. I was just drawing, from
Right.
out of my head, and kind of they look a little cartoonish for that reason. But I think I'm struggling with the idea of whether I want to use models and make some likenesses or not. Um, so that's going to be a struggle. And the other one more thing about that I'm kind of hesitant about. But I love challenges. I love the challenge of thinking about all these things and making decisions about it. Is the door so far that I've worked on over in the right photo, it looks a lot newer than the actual door, and I'm in the end I might want to kind of scratch it up and beat it up a little bit to make it look a little less adorned.
Mm-hmm.
Uh,
Mm-hmm.
I'm all of those things I'm still thinking about, and I tend to work that way. I make a decision and go for it, and sometimes I change it as I'm working. So that's where I'm at.
That's fantastic. Those are very interesting concepts that you're pondering. So this has been great. Thank you, and thank you for letting us see a peek at your artwork. It's very exciting. I love seeing the behind the scenes of the work going on, and also some insight into the creative process. So I really appreciate that. And thank you for joining us today.
Oh, you're welcome. Thank you.